Hello everyone, guys, girls, friends, families, haters, dogs, cats, gerbils, kids in the back of the car, and the people on the bus hearing this when you accidentally play out loud. I'm Rach.
And I'm Faith. Welcome to the Is It Normal podcast.
We love it that you're here. Yeah, so we love it that you're here. We love that we're both here. How did we get here?
I don't know.
So we've known each other for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Acquaintances probably.
Yeah.
No conversations longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
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 And then we watched Shrek. Bonded for life. A little happenstance.
Maybe we'll explain that another day. But yeah.
Another story for another
It was
time.
kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that bonded us. And then we were like, oh, we go to the same gym.
Yeah.
You know, let's see
Let's
how
go
that
together.
goes.
Yeah.
You're doing cool stuff in the gym. I'm there for the lols. And then we ended up having we were consistently there for 3 hours at a time, not working out. There was
Some working
we
out.
lifted some weights.
Mainly not. But mainly just chatting.
Yeah, and then one day you were like,
on a whim, half joking, I looked at you and I was like, we should start a podcast. And you were like, I'm so down for it.
I was like, yes! And then by the time we got home, we literally had the whole thing mapped out.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here?
Well, the whole point is that we're all a bit weird, right? Mm-hmm. But we often think about these things and we wonder, oh, is it normal to think this? Is it normal to do this? And we ended up having lots of conversations similar to that, didn't we? And essentially we want to invite people into those conversations to make sure that people feel like, yeah, okay, they might not be normal, but that makes them normal because everyone's not normal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. What's our little... You're not normal.
No, that's not it.
I meant to say, you're not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone.
But just get out. You're not normal. Yes. Everyone's normal because no one is, and you're not alone in that. So these conversations are literally just two mates hanging out, and we thought, hey, maybe some other people would like to partake in this.
Listen to us ramble.
So, yeah, you're invited to the rambles.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. We've got lots of topics to talk about.
I'm up for it.
Yeah. Cool.
Lots of questions. No answers. Disclaimer, we are not professionals.
Yeah, we're kind of winging it and just chatting about what we think.
Yeah.
So,
don't take us to court. Don't sue us.
Yeah, don't take us too seriously
no
either.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, we're going to have a segment every time we do the podcast. That is going to be a show and tell. So something we've seen, something we've done, something we've created that we're going to show each other and you guys. And we're going to chat about it for a bit. And then we're going to go into the Is It Normal theme of the week / month / whenever we release a podcast.
Yeah.
But today's one's a little bit different because the question is
it normal to hate introducing yourselves?
Yes.
I think it is.
I love how we're not answering questions. Yes.
But before because it's the introduction episode, instead of doing show and tell this week, we're going to do some icebreakers.
Yeah,
instead.
Everyone loves an icebreaker.
Right? I can't believe we're putting ourselves through this.
I know. This is voluntary.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. So mine actually kind of almost is a show and tell because I saw a video on Instagram and they were talking about how the question they asked was if there was a museum of your life, right, what would the gift shop sell? What things would be in the little, the little souvenir-y bit? Wow. So that's my version of an icebreaker. I'm being nice to you. Yeah. I feel like that's quite an interesting
That
thing.
is interesting.
So Rach,
that's a lot of pressure. Have you thought about that?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you go first then if you've actually thought about it? So I know you're asking me, but I'm not asking. I'm throwing it back.
You're like, nah.
Throwing it back.
Well, they'd have to be mugs.
Oh no, that's my one. That's the only one I thought of. Okay, but you tell.
You can have mugs as well.
Okay, thanks.
It's fine.
You tell them about your kind of mugs.
I think there'd be lots of stripy mugs, and there'd be potentially some handmade, cutesy, earth tone mugs.
Oh dear.
Do you know what I mean?
We're very similar people, aren't we?
I also think I've seen, right, this is kind of nerdy of me. Is it? I don't know. I've seen these little key rings that have like, you know, like in the gym, there's like the like coloured plates that you put on the barbell, right?
Yeah.
They have like little rubber plates. Do you know what I mean?
that's so cute.
On like a little key ring, and it's actually so cute. And you can buy like the different colours based on like the different amounts of weight.
Do you know what would be really helpful? Because I
Yeah.
forget every single week when I go into the gym what I'm supposed to be lifting, obviously. So you could literally change it every week for what you are.
I
that
know,
week.
right? I saw, genuinely, separate thing, kind of. I saw as well on Instagram. I feel like literally the whole podcast is me going to be like, I saw a thing on Instagram.
My screen time is 700 hours per week.
But I saw this thing, it was like a little miniature like barbell with a little like bench set up. And yeah, it came
For your
with like
fingers.
mini plates, and you could like, it would like record your like PB.
Yeah.
And every time you got a new PB, you'd like add the extra little mini weight onto it, and it would like represent your PB,
That's
right?
adorable.
So I think that's really cute, don't
So
you?
you got mugs, you got barbells.
Little ones, yeah. Yeah.
Is there a number limit?
Pick 5 things. That's fair, isn't it?
5.
Whoa, we're so in sync. Oh, I just kicked the table, sorry. Right, so mugs, barbells. That's all I've said, isn't it? Maybe flowers. I know that's like not really a thing that actually people sell.
Sorry,
in...
if I went to a museum and they had a little florist in there, yes.
Right?
That'd be-
Cute.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they'd have to sell tulips. I love tulips. They're really pretty. What else? Maybe something with a smiley face on it. I have quite a lot of smiley faces.
You do
Like, it's kind of, I don't know, it's turned into a thing. So, I love how you just said, yeah, you do have a smiley face. I'm like, thanks.
No, smiley faces.
No, I know.
You've got a miserable face.
So maybe like, I don't know, like coasters or a keyring or something with a smiley face on it.
Yeah, okay.
What's that for? Mugs, barbells,
You're like, what's
florist.
that for? And I was like, I have no idea. I don't know why I need smiley faces.
Smiley faces. Last thing. Maybe like, oh, I know, vinyls. Maybe a few vinyls.
Cool.
That'd be cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Is 5 too little?
I'm struggling to come up with 5.
Oh,
Go on,
cool,
go on,
cool,
you
cool.
go.
Okay,
If you think of more, that's fine.
Okay. If I have one for every hobby that I have. Okay, so one, yeah, mugs. And just stoneware. Very earthy tones, stoneware, crockery kind of vibe. Mugs that you can cradle, is a part of that. I'm
Yeah.
afraid, I love a cradle mug.
Yeah.
And then it would be art stuff. So I
Cute.
love a moody landscape kind of vibe, but then also kind of I love a pun or a catchphrase,
Yeah, cute.
this kitchen is for dancing, kind of I know
Yeah.
we both have, we're so basic, we both have that in our kitchens, because it is anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
So kind of either fun or moody. I guess. Oh, it's me.
Your 2 moods.
This is my museum, to be fair. So yeah, it'd be super, yeah,
Yeah.
landscapey, beautiful, or it would be kind of fun, popping in your, yeah. Anyway.
That's 2.
There'd be some frog things. I got this Pinterest board of frogs. So
Yeah.
some of them are animated little, say he's a little cowboy frog, and it's yeehaw girl. I don't know,
That's
it's just
so cute.
it's just a really weird, just animated frog things.
I like that.
Yeah, so that would
You've
be,
gotta go
that'd
with
be
it.
the equivalent to your smiley face, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keyrings, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
A lip liner. I
Lip
love
liner.
a lip liner.
Yeah, 100%, I can see
or
that.
anything lip, or maybe just kind of
Like a little cosmetics bit.
yes,
Cute.
I do love a cosmetics
Yeah, cute.
situation.
One more.
Oh, one more. Who am I? This is actually so stressful.
so
I'm
deep.
so stressed.
One
Maybe
more
a
thing.
creative corner, actually. So my latest obsession, also due to Instagram, is colouring.
We love it.
Or
I
a
mean-
a Canva corner. Either tech, I just
Yeah.
want a creative corner in the museum.
That would be cute.
So tech creative, or you can take selfies with ring lights after the cosmetic stuff, or something. No, I don't really like selfies, but like a creative corner, either tech or physical, or like a little pottery wheel, or like just like a creative hobbies corner. I don't know how I'm gonna sell.
I
those
feel like
items.
yours is giving like, this is gonna. I don't know if this is gonna sound mean, but like TechnoQuest, where it's like, no, because it's like interactive.
It's an experience.
Little things where like I can imagine it like you go to this bit first and then you go and do this bit, and it's almost like you're doing different like activities. Whereas I
Yes.
think mine is more like a little marketplace.
What it's supposed to be. I'd be broke.
No, because it's your museum, so it's supposed to represent you.
And
so
also-
like fine.
That sounds great.
Oh, actually, mine should definitely include books. I don't know why.
of
I don't know why it
course.
doesn't. And also little houses.
See,
As
this is
in,
what
like,
I said. 5 is too little.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, it probably
Yeah.
is.
Oh, candles. I love a candle.
Yeah. Would they be scented or non-scented?
Scented always.
Really? What's your favourite?
Unless I'm
scent?
having dinner.
Oh yeah, fair.
Like if I was having dinner, then it'd be non-scented probably. Like
Yeah.
the tall non-scented
Yeah.
ones.
Cute.
Also, take the cardboard off them, or the like, you know, the little paper like labels off them. Because the other day I was cooking dinner, and it's in the middle of my dining room table, and it just went up in flames. I was like, "Oops." I'll remember to take off the paper next time I light a candle. And some perfumes. I'd have some perfume. I love a perfume. I literally don't leave the house without like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love perfume. Anyway.
So yeah, really quick, really quick icebreaker.
That's my icebreaker. But I guess it's time to actually talk about today's question.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Which is it normal to hate introducing yourself? Rach, do you hate introducing yourself?
Do you know what? I actually don't think I do. It's such it's a very contextual question, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
100%. Yeah.
put me in front of a room of people, and I think I'd just go into performance mode, and I thrive. Like if I have to stand up in front of a bunch of people and like explain who I am or what I do or like whatever,
Yeah.
thrive. If it's icebreakers, hate them. So if it's like, you know, 2 truths and a lie, or like if it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like an icebreaker in work, or like I
Yeah.
feel so much judgment from them questions.
Yeah.
So like I hate that. But introducing myself, like honestly on a stage and that, like on it, like okay, let's not calm down, Rich. You're a liar. You're an absolute plain-faced liar. You would hate that.
On Britain's Got Talent, I'd love
I
it.
could do it all. But yeah, like so for example, I did like a presentation in front of like all these like high ups or whatever in work.
Yeah.
Thrived, loved it.
Yeah.
Fair.
Why? Why do you think you like that? Like, as in, not that I'm judging you for liking it, it's fair
yeah.
enough. But like, is it because...
I think I know who I am and I know what I offer.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's like I wonder if oh god, I wasn't expecting that. I wonder if I quite like one, the attention. She's the youngest child. Go on, what can I say? I like having something to say.
Yeah. And
Do
I
I?
guess
I don't
and
know.
I guess in to an extent in like a professional context or a work context or something like that, where like you kind of do know your role, you know what you offer, you know what you're there for.
Yeah.
It's like you can,
And I think that's the difference.
kind of
If I know,
yeah.
I think this is why it's contextual. If I know what I'm doing, so if I'm talking about me, like I know me. Although actually, judging from this question, I clearly don't. I'm like if it's about me or my work or what I do or something I know about,
Yeah.
that's absolutely fine. That's cool.
Yeah.
But if it's like, if I'm not prepared and I don't know, I
Yeah.
kind of don't love that. But also, I am quite comfortable with who I am. Like, I can make a joke and a laugh out of it. I can be what I think people need me to be, basically. So I don't have an issue with that. The issue comes from having to think of something on the spot, probably.
Yeah, fair.
Like I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate the pressure. I hate anything pressurized.
Yeah.
So if I know something's happening, I can prepare, I can perform, whatever.
Yeah.
But if it's like on the spot, like, oh, we're going to do an icebreaker, do this. Hate it. Hate it. I can't think. My mind goes blank. You like literally at Kiss, like Marry Kill, 3 things. I'm like, I don't know anything. Crazy, isn't it? What are
Yeah.
you? What's your?
I think similarly, I would say slightly different in terms of like, I don't mind introducing myself at like a work thing, or like in my job I have to do quite a lot of like presentation-y type things to people that I don't know. I can it's not that I necessarily enjoy that, but I'm confident that I can do it.
Yeah.
But that's practice. You know, that's having to do it loads of times over.
Because it's not that thing of like, oh, we're going to do this thing, now you have to give us a question
Yeah,
or whatever.
because
It's
you
that
have
you've got
time to prepare. Yeah. And also, it's
a
not...
little script, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
I love a little script
And
sometimes.
it's also not like directly about you as a person, is it? It's like your role in a very particular context.
Yeah.
I think I dislike introducing myself when I'm worried about what the person is thinking of me. So like, because in a work context, like, obviously I care to an extent, but I'm not there to make friends in the same way that I would be.
I'm there to get money.
No, but like in these, like, say for example, like at a networking event, like I'm not worried about making lifelong friendships from that. I'm just, it's, you know, I'm representing what I do kind of thing. Whereas like a couple of weeks ago I went to a like a little group, it was like a little brunch thing for people that are like on this fitness thing that I'm doing. And I went to that and I didn't know anyone going, and literally in the car the whole way there as I was driving I was like, right, if they ask 2 truths and a lie, this is what I'm going to say, and if they ask what's the most interesting thing about you, this is what I'm going to say. I was trying to come up with, because I do get that, 100% get that of like on the spot, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? And like things like 2 truths and a lie, my life just isn't very compatible with 2 truths and a lie, because like I end up coming up with stupid stuff like, I play piano and I have 2 brothers, and do you know what I mean? Like I don't have like, we did it before in work and someone said something like, oh, I don't know, like, you know, people have been to like Australia and travelled loads and like they've done all these crazy things, so they can be like, I parachuted out of a plane. Do you know what I mean? Like I just don't have those things to say. So I think then it just kind of...
Well, it's comparison, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the difference, actually.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing it, when all eyes are on you and you're doing like a presentation in work, like it's you are the...
star of the show.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Like, it's about you, isn't it? Whereas when you're in group context introducing yourself, there's comparison. And that's why I hate 2 truths. Like, you know, poor 2 truths and a lie. Like, I did nothing wrong to us. Wow. But, but I was always like, oh, what's your most embarrassing moment? This right now. Why would you make me relive that? Like, I hate you.
gosh.
And then you compare it to everyone else, don't
Yeah.
you? I wonder if that's why we don't like it.
And I think also there is just more of a social pressure in those environments, isn't there? That like, you know, you can so imagine, can't you, a scenario where there's like a group of new people that don't know each other, you're doing 2 truths and a lie, one of them says, I travelled to Australia, turns out it's a truth, someone else is like, oh my gosh, I also travelled to Australia, did you go to blah 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 blah, oh my gosh, did you go to this bar and it wasn't that amazing, and blah blah. Do you know what I mean? Like people like listen out for shared experiences and will bond over those things. And in my head, that's the like, I have to say the right thing because I want to like represent myself accurately so that people that are similar or people that have similar interests, so that we can find each other and be friends. And do you know what I mean?
I think, and again, so it's comparison, but also fear of like, if I don't say the right thing, then da-da-da-da will happen. Yeah. Or if I say the right thing, then da-da-da-da will happen. Yeah. It's stuff like, so like for dating apps, for example, like you've got to sell yourself well, because like, that will make or break if someone matches you or something. Yeah. So for example, 100%. in that that's what you're saying, isn't it? Just IRL. Yeah. So it's like, if I say the right thing, then this amazing thing could happen, but if I say the wrong thing, then everyone's gonna hate me for a year. Yeah. Having to like, I guess also having to distill yourself into like 3 things. And like, for example, the museum thing. Yeah. Like, we're like, oh yeah, 5 things, that's loads. That's enough. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even think of 5 things. And then you're like, no wait, I can think of 20 things. Literally. Well, that's and it's so hard to distill yourself. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't even thought about books. Oh my gosh, books is a massive part. And I'm like, oh no, I've missed out on books. I must say it. Like, like coffee machine, and what if they love coffee and I love coffee, and now we can't go for coffee because I didn't say coffee in the 3-minute icebreaker we did. Literally. Bearing in mind, we knew each other for 10 years before we were friends. Literally. So if we just had a better icebreaker. No, so I think
I think...
So we've got comparison. We've got fear.
Yeah.
What else do you think? Why else do we just hate introducing ourselves? I guess insecurity.
Yeah.
Which is both.
It's kind of like both
yeah.
those things, yeah. Yeah.
Because it's, what if I'm not as funny as them? Or what if I'm not as smart as them? Or what if I'm not as quick-witted as them?
Yeah. I think also, like, sometimes you're just not in the right headspace. Or for me, sometimes I'm just not in the right headspace for it. And, like, it's quite an extroverted thing to do, I guess, in terms of, like, you have to, like, tune into that extroverted energy, right?
Yeah. Because actually, if I'm meeting people and I'm like, I know I'm never going to see you again. Like, I know we're not going to be, like, pally buddy buddies. I do not have the capacity to invest. So I'm quite like, I just hate small talk. I hate it. Which I guess is that introduction. So I'll just ask them questions about themselves. Because, like, I don't care if you know me because I'm not going to see you again. Like, I know that sounds a bit brash or a bit harsh. And you never know if you're going to see people again. Do you know what I mean? But, like, I can't be bothered to paint myself in a certain way. Because I don't care what you think about me because you're not going to see me again.
Yeah.
Like...
I do think there's a wisdom to that. Because, like, a lot of adulthood is just not having time for stuff. Right?
Yeah.
And, like...
Or capacity.
Yeah, and having to prioritise.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, prioritisation is not an option. It's like you only have so much capacity, so much time, so much energy, so many, like, friend slots. Do you know what I mean? So if those are full, those are full. Like, I don't have room for more friends.
Yeah.
I'm at capacity.
I have two. And that is enough.
Well, actually, I think that's a good point, though, because some people do like having lots of friends that are, like, acquaintancey type friends, and some people are, like, a few really good close friends.
Yeah. Which are you?
A few really good close friends.
Because it is lush to make friends. It is lush to meet new people. And part of introducing yourself is a step to that. But I think the friendships I've had that have worked really well, I've never had to introduce myself. Yeah. It's been like, oh my gosh, you get the meme reference. I just said, all right, we're cool, we're friends now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And I think that's really beautiful.
We didn't really have to introduce ourselves because it was like, oh, we go to the same gym. Do you want to hang out? And that was kind of it, wasn't it? It wasn't like, hi, my name's Faith, and I like these 5 things. Yeah. And that's me summed up.
But actually, have you ever done that when making friends? Because I know we're talking about introductions. So introductions in the sense of, like, like, I think we're thinking more corporate, aren't we? We're thinking more like...
Or, like, first interactions with people.
Yeah.
You're in a group event with someone and you say, oh, hi, I'm Faith.
Yeah. I think that's what I hate. So I think I know we're not going to be friends if I have to have that kind of conversation with you. I know we're going to be friends if we're like... So, for example, the friend I made recently, they came over after, like, a spoken word event and they were like, oh my gosh, that was so great. We should, like, go for coffee and, like, write poetry together. And I was like, yes, awesome, let's do it. And a week later, we were literally to the day a week later, we meeting up, having coffee, going to a different event. And it was instantly like, what's your diagnosis? Or what's your childhood trauma? What's your story? Straight in. I do not ever want to ask someone their favourite colour. In an introductory sense.
Yeah. You're talking about quite natural friendships.
I think because
you've got a shared interest.
I think if you've got to ask very specific questions initially, it's because it doesn't flow.
Yeah.
But then I guess that's quite dangerous as well, because some people are just slow to, like, just because I'm an oversharer immediately. And someone else might be slower to... Yeah. Like, actually, there was a guy I met recently, and he was quite quiet and quite, like, reserved or whatever. And I was talking to him, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's funny. Like, so I guess that could be a hindrance as well.
Yeah, true.
Like, my perception of meeting people.
Cool. I have a question. I think we can probably round it up on this question.
Yeah, I feel like we've gone a bit on tangent.
I think that's going to be the theme of this whole podcast. Is going to be going off tangent.
Blooper.
Is there anything that you have found, like, particularly helpful when it comes to those kind of scenarios where you do have to introduce yourself, or you're in an environment where there are new people that you don't know? Do you know what I mean? I'm just thinking about, I imagine it's a fairly common experience. People don't enjoy introducing themselves. So, like, what
I think one, time and practice, and just getting older and being more assured of who I am. And I don't know, in a succinct way how to explain for someone to do that.
Yeah.
But like, I think just reminding myself, like before I did that presentation, I was like, I am loved, and I like myself, and what I have to say is important enough for people to listen to, and actually let me make use of this platform. So it was quite, there was an internal thing of confidence in who I am and what I have to offer.
Yeah,
but also it was like an external thing of like, actually let me provide these people with the best experience they can have.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all like into, because actually like it's this thing of you can find such relief in no one actually cares about you or what you're doing because they care so much about themselves and what they're doing. And like you can look at that in a freeing way.
Yeah.
And I think
100%.
we were talking the other day actually, weren't we, about people who just walk into a room and they know who they are and they like who they are.
Yeah.
And people are attracted to that. People love that.
Yeah.
Because it gives them the freedom to be who they are.
Yeah.
And I think like just getting out of your own head a bit of being like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like I actually don't care if people like me or not, because the people who like me love me, and the people who don't like me probably really hate me. And that's fine, because they're probably not people I like, and that's okay. Like, so I think just reminding myself of like, those who are for me are really for me, and those who are against me I don't care about. And it's that thing of like, if you wouldn't take their advice, then why do you care about their opinion of you? That kind of like whole thing. And I think just knowing like one moment doesn't define you. So actually if I like fumble my words, or if I say something stupid or boring or whatever, that doesn't define who I am as a person. And if they want to think that, that's their small thinking, and cool, like you go do you, boo. I'm about giving people some more chances, maybe. I don't know how to describe that in a practical way.
No, that's cool though.
I think probably like not mantras, what's it, like affirmations. Affirmations are super, I'm an affirmation, like, I love that. Like, so before you got to do them things, just remember who you are, ground yourself in that a bit. Just work on liking yourself, I guess.
I think that's really valid. I think for me, something that's been really helpful is understanding that sometimes people, so like, embarrassment or like cringe or a lot of that is just like jealousy wrapped up. And I don't mean that in like a really braggy way of like, oh, everybody's just jealous of me. I don't mean it like that. I just mean like, I've noticed it in myself that where I'm judgy of stuff, it's often because I wish I had the confidence to do it, or I wish I felt free enough to do it, or I wish I felt like affirmed, or whatever that might be. And so it's kind of like adjacent to what you're saying in terms of like, kind of doesn't really matter what other people think of you. But like I've seen quite a lot of stuff on Instagram about like stuff is cringe until it works. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, it might be
like you're cringy until you set a trend.
Yeah.
And then
until it's successful, right?
Yeah.
Like even like literally we're sat here recording a podcast, right? We are two just random girls that are just chatting nonsense. But like we genuinely feel like we have something to bring, and we think that it's a fun idea, and we're having, or at least I'm having fun. I don't know about you.
Oh, great time.
And so like, okay, people might think that's a little bit cringy, but, and like I can understand that if I was an observer, because I know that like in me I would be feeling like, oh, I wish I could do something like that. I don't know, does that sound really arrogant?
No, but you're right actually, isn't it? It's and I think you never know other people's motives. Yeah. So actually like if someone's being mean to me, like I don't know their motive.
Yeah.
Have I like accidentally offended them, or are they jealous, or are they just having a really bad day and it's got nothing to do with me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think like as much as we can guess and think about and wonder why someone doesn't like us, why we're annoying them, what's the problem, actually like unless you're hurting someone or offending someone, like does it matter?
And also,
and,
like...
and it's hard. Don't
yeah.
I'm not devaluing. Like, it is so hard to walk into a room of people and introduce yourself, or meet someone face to face for the first time, or do them introduction. Like, that is such a fear-invoking thing.
Yeah.
And we could go
100%.
into fight, flight, or freeze, but maybe for another day. Like,
Yeah.
there is a physical response to that.
Yeah,
So I'm not
100%.
taking away people's anxieties of, like, meeting someone. Like, that is so scary. But I think... Yeah.
I think some of it does just come with age.
Yeah. And experience.
Yeah. And learning that, okay, that person told you you were cringy, but, like, nothing changed. Do you know what I mean? Like,
And,
it's all
and
just
also,
fine.
And,
Like,
and also, so what?
yeah.
So we've got
Yeah.
a podcast coming up. Podcast episode about is it normal to be embarrassed about, like,
Yeah.
all the time? Because I feel like that's so much of social media and stuff now. Like,
Yeah.
everything's cringy, everything's this, everything's that. And what, mate? Like,
Yeah. Because realistically, if you actually think about cringe, often
does it actually mean?
it's like just people having fun,
yeah, it
right?
really is.
Being themselves and...
Yeah. I can laugh it off because I'm like, I was having a great time.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm cringy.
If cringy is literally just someone enjoying themselves, having fun, being nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
like,
putting themselves out
okay,
there.
I want to be cringe. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, I think
It's
that's
literally
it for
someone
me.
putting themselves out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Maybe cringe actually just means vulnerable.
Yeah. And also, I think there's a little bit of about just being unapologetic about stuff and not, you know, I am who I am. I like what I like. I do the things that I like doing, and that's that. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. That's fine.
And the
But I'm not
people-
gonna pretend to be someone else for the sake of people thinking I'm quote unquote cooler or
Yeah.
whatever.
And I think the people who take it with, like, whole heart.
Yeah.
And the people who leave it, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you mean, like, if you're,
Yeah.
like, you know, it's the whole, like, find
Yeah.
your tribe thing. Like, when you are authentically yourself in introductions, in meeting new people, or,
Yeah.
like, in 10-year relationships, like, when you are that, the people who take it are taking you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're, like, you know, more, not like faking it, but, like, if, you know, if you're not actually authentically yourself,
Yeah.
then the people who are drawn to you aren't actually drawn to you.
Yeah, they're
And
drawn
then
to a version
Yeah.
of you.
And then you have to
Yeah.
continue with that version to keep
Yeah.
them around.
Yeah.
So you may as well just be really weird and whoever you are and not normal from the get-go, because then the people who choose you are actually choosing you and actually committing to you and who you are, versus, like, oh, I don't like you because you don't wear your socks above your trainers.
Such a specific example.
It's like the Jim Goody example, isn't it?
yeah.
You're not wearing branded socks that, you know, go past your ankles.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can't be in our gang. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna go find some trainer sock girlies. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I think we can probably conclude that I think it is fairly normal to
Yeah.
to
absolutely.
dislike introducing
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
And I think everything we've talked about, they're so, like, the reasons are so valid, aren't they? It is quite fear inducing. You do worry about what people are going to think. But equally, you know, like you're saying, we can't always put up a version of ourselves that's going to be most likable.
Because it's not sustainable.
No. And it's not you. So,
And we love you.
yeah.
We want you to be you.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that might be episode 1 coming to an end.
We'll see. Yeah, bye guys. We hope you take something from our rambling, our tangents and all the rest of it. But just remember, like, you're not alone. You're really not in how you feel, and
Yeah.
you're normal because
Literally no one is.
literally no one is.